Alrighty, hello, and welcome back to some good old game development. Hope everyone's having a good day so far, hope everyone's having a good one. I had a lazy day yesterday, and that lazy day was really interesting because now it feels like it's been almost like days since I've streamed because of how long the day ended up being. So I'm like having a moment. I'm gonna be real with y'all. Today is gonna probably be a lot of like boring planning in the background. While we just talk about topics as per usual. Nothing really overly intense in game development wise. So I will be fairly open to discussion points. There's a few things I'll talk about today. There's a couple of topics I just kind of want to touch upon, just because it's always useful to acknowledge things, look at the news, yada yada yada. Like the one thing that I want to like kind of put forward on, and I saw this as I woke up, is that the Pope has passed away, which was interesting. I mean, he'd been in poor health for quite some time, so it's not too surprising, as well as age already being quite advanced, which is, it's a sad thing to hear, because he was such a awesome person. I think I actually saw a person point out, it's just like, whether you're Catholic or not, this is actually like quite a sad thing to see happen, and it's like, yeah, because he was just a genuinely cool person. And it was actually Obama that I saw say that, wildly enough. Because he's just a really hell of a good leader. You know how it is sometimes. Alright, so, okay. Going through the motions, figuring out what I need to kind of plan for. So I'm gonna possibly do a little bit of art stuff. Smart updates. What else needs to get done? That'll help with organizing things. Oh yeah, I was gonna work on some shaders. Because I have a couple of ideas for some stuff that I might work on, intermittently. As a, an ongoing process, thinking about how, like, okay, so, short, let's backtrack for a moment so I can actually collect my thoughts. So this morning I was playing Star Rail, and I was looking at the visuals in that game. Now, I will stand by, I believe the visuals in that game are overly gratuitous, because the purpose is to incite, like, the neuron activation of pretty lights. But at the same time, it is a very beautiful game, and it has been done fairly well. It's a very competently designed visual style going on. Now, I was looking at the characters I enjoyed the most, and they're like what they do. And I kind of came to the conclusion that the best things that I saw out of a lot of these kind of things were like a grander visual impact. So if one of the best examples I could probably give is Acheron. Acheron's ult is probably one of the best visual attacks. So what her ult in code-wise is, when the condition is met to be able to cast it, because it's actually a conditional one, you will swing 3 times, each doing a bit of AoE, but specifically dealing damage to those that have, more damage to those that have, her stacks on them, which are applied. It's how you get your ult anyway. And it consumes 3 each time. Up to a total of 9, right? So, that's the idea. It's 3 swings, consuming 3 things, total of 9, whatever. This is the mechanics. And then at the final bit, it will deal a massive... the final slash is basically a massive AoE that deals an additional damage to every enemy. Like, a lot of damage. It's basically swing does a lot of damage, swing do a lot of damage, swing nuclear bomb. Now, the point of this attack, though, is that you'll start in a position to attack. She'll kind of move, go up to, like, up here. So here's the enemies here. She'll move up to here, do another slash, and move kind of, like, down to here. Then be able to do another slash and kind of just stand very much like I'm here with sword getting put back into thing. Or, like, sword out here or whatever, and then putting it back into the sheath. And the enemies here getting slashed. It also fractures kind of reality with it. Does all of this kind of like fracture effect, and then all of this shatters away to an under thing. Also, hey, Banky, how's it going? Now, why is that so visually impactful? It's because of 2 aspects of it. It's the sound of it. Sound is extremely important for how her ult works, and the visuals. The actual effect of again, this is where it comes down to, I could make Star Rail if it was pure numbers. It's not a hard game to make if we're just talking pure number game. But that's not what makes that game the good game it is. It's the combination of everything going into it. Like, math nerds are math nerds. They'll enjoy a game, sure, but, like, just go play Cookie Clicker. See if I can find a video of Acheron's ult to just show what I'm talking about. Acheron ult. So there we go. That's oh good lord, the computer's having a moment. But yeah, so that there is what I'm talking about, right? So again, that is just pure number-wise, very basic ultimate concept. It's cool, but like what makes it awesome is that sound, because the other aspect of it that's not very obvious in that is what it does is it actually mutes out a lot of sound while you're in that kind of realm. One of the best examples of this is how another character's ultimate has her singing, Robin. Basically, she's putting on a concert. If you actually, and this is a humorous thing as well, if you have her ult, it actually sounds like you're kind of like, I don't know, you're outside the club kind of sound. Like, it sounds like it's in the other room. Which is really, really fascinating. So, by doing that, you create quite an interesting effect for the player. So why is this something I'm talking about? Well, the sound thing I'm not so great with. I can do basic sound work in engineering, but realistically, like, I'm fairly limited in that field and my understanding. but I'll work on that. Visual side, however, I am a little bit more competent in, so therefore I should be able to do more. Especially when it comes to programming art, which is where I kind of point in the whole shaders concept. So the idea is, what I like, going back to the point of this discussion coming forward, is what I will probably do is I'll start engineering some baseline systems for doing shaders, for stuff like ultimates specifically, because I feel like the ultimate abilities under almost all circumstances should be both visually impactful and gameplay impactful. The counterance to that statement is stuff like, immediately you could probably think of holocure. Holocure, by design, is the ultimate is supposed to be you switching between the characters. The grand scale impact of that character, that ultimate, isn't there. It's the switch between. That's supposed to be for VTube Unite. Yes, I am making discussions around VTube Unite. So that's why I'm saying, like, shaders is a very weird term. That is going to lead to a lot of misunderstanding as well. It's kind of like how the term lobby is misunderstood. Lobby does not mean multiplayer lobby. Multiplayer lobby means multiplayer lobby. Lobby means space where the player is kind of able to not play the game but interact with like menus and stuff like that. Often is done just as menus, right? This may be a bit of a weird concept, but basically think of, if you go into a single player game, you could argue, if it doesn't have like a home environment, I mean space for the player with options, yeah, kind of. You can, like, this is why I say, you can actually argue a main menu is a lobby. But you can also use it in game sense. Bloodborne has a lobby. Yes, it's multiplayer, but that's irregardless of the point that we're making, is that the lobby in there is the place you go back to and you do your upgrades and you switch to other things. But that's why I'm saying, like, shaders are also under that circumstance. A shader does not mean like weird shadow thing. A shader is a visual thing that a visual thing you put on a layer that normally does something. So what I mean by that is, say that fracture effect that we saw with Acheron's ult, where it creates that fracturing and all that. That is overlaying it on the world. That is a shader in a sense. It is a visual shader that creates an overlaying visual concept. Why I'm bringing this all about is because what I could potentially do is, if the like an ultimate ability of one of our characters is massive scaling, I could have it visually impact the map, right? Another example of this, kind of in practice, and this might be one of those things that a lot of people might not want to see this, but it is true. Where is it? Is it Empyrean Pike? Pentakill effect. So this is a very clear example of the shader that we were talking about. So if you've ever seen League of Legends, you'll know this is what the map looks like naturally. The map does not visually change under almost any circumstance. However, they've done this with a couple of skins. If you specifically achieve a pentakill this will occur.
I'm not talking to myself. They're talking to me.
So that is basically a map-wide effect that will visually change the entire map temporarily. So that is what, again, that is a shader. That is an overlaying shader of the map that they've they've added in to create an interesting visual effect. In some cases, there is the argument of, well, this creates visual distortion, which can be competitively bad to do. However, and I agree with this argument, how can you validly argue that when this is under the requirement of a pentakill, which means that you've team wiped them, right? You want to add lingering visual effect? Kind of. Now again, I'm not going to that extent. I am not that competent nor confident in my skill. However, it is something that I do think I can start working on, so. I have worked on shaders before. Again, I have made a 3D environment with the ability to render models, render lighting, and all that sort of stuff before. I can do similar stuff in this, and it would just be about how I would want to handle it. Now, I will also mention this because people might, anyone that actually knows programming might call me out on this a little, but I'll just explain this. There might be an argument of going, well, why bother doing it via shaders and not just make a visual layered thing? Because this is actually another argument could be made. If I wanted to say make something visual only on the ground, so only visual in this kind of spacing, could I not just create an art asset and then layer it in the right place? Yes, I could, and I could lower its opacity so you could still see through it, stuff like that. However, it would not interact with the rest of the world correctly. It would just be me layering a visual on something. Whereas if I wanted it to affect everything in ways that might be making sense, like darken the world but highlight certain things, then I would need to do it via shader. This is where I kind of go, so going to that comment of the ambition, is that ambitious? Fuck yeah it is. But I'm not going as far as it may initially seem. Because this is why I'm like, I'm going within a scope I actually have done before. Especially knowing that I have considered another thing that's going to require shaders. And this one's going to be slightly more complex and is something that I'm going to have to make toggleable because it could be something that creates, like a higher expectation of running, which is... Let's actually write that a little bit better. Lighting. Lighting is a very clear shader. I have always kind of thought about doing lighting. There's a few different ways to do lighting. In the current version of the game, we've made basically a shadow profile where it will create a visual shadow to the slight bottom right of every sprite, and then it will create a little thing on the bottom underneath them. Now that created a good visual clarity, and I feel like that was a solid thing. However, I would like to go a little bit further with that and create a slightly more dynamic system that handles things just a little bit better. How it will handle those things, that is up for debate. I still need to work on how I want to do that. But I do think that there is more than enough room to do something like that. The difficulty of it is making it efficient. And this is where I kind of pull back to the statement of I would need to make it a thing that can be turned off and on. Because if I don't, potentially it changes the game from being able to be run on a potato to be requiring quite a more intensive system. I want the game to be able to run on potatoes. Because I have lived a lot of my life with shitty computers. One of my main PCs that I had for a long time had like a gig of RAM. Hell, I've had less than that in my time, but like one of my first PCs I bought it and it had a gig of RAM. I'm like, this shit great. It was not great. I tried to play what was Tekkit at the time, is now considered like Tekkit Classic. And I would be living my life through like a solid 5 to 10 FPS. And I saw no problem with that at the time. Yeah. Wild to think about that, right? I think it was 1.2.5, Minecraft version 1.2.5. I think that was what it was. It was like fairly early on in certain modding cycles. It was pretty big stuff that was coming out at the time. That's when Equivalent Exchange 2 was around, which was the mod that really sold me on mods. But yeah, so it's why I think designing with the intention of it being able to run on what kind of could be considered potato is a big deal to me, because you'll find with almost all developers there is a part of their origins of playing games or form of media coming through the game, right? I think one of the examples I will use on this is, what is it fucking called? That robot shooter game. Overkill? Is it Overkill is what I'm thinking of? Let me look. No, it's Ultra Kill. Ultra Kill. I think that's it. Yes. Ultra Kill is yeah, Ultra Kill. So, Ultra Kill is Gabriel being pissed at a machine. You little bitch. Yeah, no, I love some of that stuff. But so Ultra Kill developer went out because someone I think asked about or someone made a comment about pirating games, pirating media, and he popped in on the conversation saying that if you're gonna pirate my game, go for it. I would like for you to pay for it and support me, but also if it wasn't for pirating, I wouldn't have probably made Ultra Kill. Because of the pirating the media and all of that stuff that kind of fueled the game itself. This is where I've said this before on stream. I will not condone pirating, personally. Shut up. I will not condone pirating personally. Not openly, because of the potential ramifications of such a statement. However, pirating things is, there's two reasons a person will pirate something. It's that they don't want to support the original creators, because of some form of moral argument that they will put forward. I have known people to say, I don't want to pay Disney for their things, because Disney is a bad company and do bad things, so therefore I'm going to pirate their movies. And then there is the reason of they can't afford it. Right? Now, Pirate Software actually has talked on this a little bit himself. I believe, if I understand correctly, he actually isn't a huge fan of pirating. He is very much against it. But that's obviously because as well, like, realistically speaking, again, I don't think anyone's truly for pirating. Unless you're just being an ass. But, like, it is a service issue a lot of the time. And he actually made an effort to compensate for that, right? So what I mean by that is, he charges his game based on the region, not based on the currency. So I think it's like he works backwards from a specific value. I think it's like, the average weekly rent, versus income, of the country. And he basically designs the cost to be equivalent to, like, very low-end, expendable amount of money in each of the countries. And by doing that, you have now removed a lot of that service problem. Right? Now, why, you may ask, do not other companies do this? There is a mild aspect of you will miss out on, money that you'd get from it, right? Like, you'd get more money, you'd theoretically get more money out of people, except they just won't buy your game. And in the countries that it's really impactful for, like Brazil, for example, where the, the average, like, expendable income is extremely low, they'll just pirate it. And that becomes the whole problem. Also, hey, Matthew, how's it going? So, this is why I say, like, I'm not for pirating, but I'm not truly against pirating. I understand why it exists, and I understand that it's just not gonna vanish all of a sudden because moral argument A or B. It's the, like, it itself is the same reason why, you're not going to convince everyone to stop eating meat, for example, by a vegan argument. It's like, it is a moral argument. It is not, there is no objective reality on things. Because the moment one would go like, oh, well, this destroys ecosystem, it's like, none of these don't. It's like, oh, well, I get this organically sourced one that's okay. It's like, okay, so what is the premium you're paying on that? Can the average person afford that premium? No, there's a problem. Oh, well, they should make it more, then do it yourself. Make a way for it to be more affordable. Don't say it should be more affordable if you don't have a way of backing that up. Because now you're just prescribing, oh, well, they're poor, so they're wrong. And that's all that you're doing with that argument. So that's exactly why pirating is that case. That was a really weird tangent. I apologize. This has gone a bit wild when I think this started from something completely different. Oh yeah, this is me talking about fucking potato. Yeah, okay. Going back to the original kind of lead on to a lot of this. Fucking hell. If pirating is the only way to keep lost media from being lost, I'm okay with that. See, that one's a mixed argument, because, like, what's wrong with media being lost, potentially? Well, okay, let me correct that. No media is ever truly lost, especially if it has ever been on the internet. Now, whether that's the case or not, and collector arguments, all that sort of stuff. But, like, realistically speaking, so we're in an era of, the entertainment era. I will always refer to it as the entertainment era. We're beyond the information era. We're in the entertainment era. This stuff goes through so fucking fast and so quickly, it's impossible to keep track of everything. People do, though. People make an attempt. Do I think there should be better systems and regulations for archiving things to learn from them? Sure. I do think that that's something that we could see an improvement on. But I don't think, like, pirating solves that in any better than what already exists does. But no, so the topic I was going with, though, is, like, every developer or every creative individual, you'll often see the origin of their inspiration in the work somehow. So that's why I say, like, with me, I try and make a game to go run on potato PCs because I grew up with potato PCs. Like, my first PC being a potato and stuff. If pirating will ruin bad companies at any point, then we should keep doing it. Again, that's where I say I don't condone that action, but also I understand it, right? And I'm gonna be honest, there are definitely some companies that I'm just like, do you really need this money? Now, I will stress, and even if it's in good humor and everything, the problem is, it'll come right back around to this whole thing of who are you actually really fucking over if you don't pay for, like, going to watch that movie at the cinemas? Are you fucking over the big execs? Sure, you're probably lowering their paycheck a little bit, but you're also not giving them the money to pay the other people that they're already fucking over enough, right? It's kind of like that difficult problem, because, like, there's no good answer. Hollywood movies especially, we have the eternal struggle of, like, no one's getting paid well enough in those fields, aside from the people that are getting paid way too fucking much, right? We gotta help the little guy out. Our employees snort crow and their media does not cost $80. I'm gonna release a game one day. It's gonna be fucking $500 and it's just gonna be like Pong. Original Pong. It's just gonna be that. Everyone's gonna buy it and refund it, and that's gonna be the funniest thing. No. I have some fucking shame. Some standards. Even I wouldn't do that. But, yeah, I mean, like, that's why I've said before as well, like, the card game that I'm working on still, that I have the time. If I hadn't been ill for this period, like, this last week or so, I probably would have started working on it with Roger, but just gotta call it Pong, but the original price accounted for inflation. I love it. I love it. But yeah, I need to nag Roger at some point so we can, like, sit down and work on that card game. Because I want to get that going. Because, like, again, that game, I'm going to monetize that shit. But, like, I'm going to make it basically a $5 game. What I will do is it will probably, like, the best way to think about it is, like, think of it as going to be, like, a pack of fucking magic in price. Like, can you buy a pack of magic? You can? Cool, you'll be able to buy the game. I want it to be on the cheaper side, but enough to, like, justify it. Because I'm gonna have to pay artists for that shit. To be fair, the Kickstarter's gonna be the main thing that I have to actually make work for that. So, once the game's working. Oh, I am very tired. I stayed up a little late last night. I watched 2 anime yesterday with my lazy day. One of them, what was the first one I was watching? What was the first one I was watching? I think I was finishing a series off with that. I mean, you can very much be the next Project Moon of the systems in the game, are deep and good. I don't remember. Like, one of them was a fairly older one, and I can't remember the name of it. Yeah, I was finishing off one. It's kind of like yokai mixed with humanity sort of problems one. I can't remember it, but it's like there's a town where there's a bunch of like the pillars that help stabilize the world, and the yokai, and then there's half yokai, and then there's the humans, and it's like there's 2 worlds. They're trying to theoretically send the yokai back to the yokai world because they're not supposed to be in the human world, and yada yada yada. It's a weird one. Pretty fun. It was pretty fun. My biggest complaint was that it looked like there was an entire arc of the story that they like shoved into an intro one time. Like, it was like a 2-minute long intro, and it was like an entire arc of story, and then just afterwards, like, it's all resolved, obviously. Like, it's after the events, and I'm like, I feel like I missed out on a lot of character development here, but hey, whatever, fuck it, sure. Then the next one I watched was, oh no, I did watch 2 yesterday. They did a Persona 5, yeah. No, I watched 2 yesterday. There was, I was reincarnated as a sword. I watched that one. And then I watched, what was the fucking other one called? It's like, middle-aged shopper gets reincarnated, or something like that. It's like I'm a 40-year-old, it's literally a 40-year-old guy with, like, the power of Amazon gets isekai'd, and it's just really funny. The tutorial and first act is just a whole song. Yeah, it's... I don't like when a series does stuff like that, because it just feels like you're really shafting the original story and the effort put in to tell that story, but also, like, this was done, I think that one was done in 2012, which was very common back then. The amount of series that adequately paid homage to the originals was a lot lower during that era. To be fair, the average is probably still about the same, but, like, the amount of them were notable by comparison to those that didn't. But yeah, no, that's what I watched yesterday. I watched those. The Sword Isekai I liked. That was a fun one. Because I have a soft spot for, like, the adoptive parent stories. Like, I'll always have a soft spot for those sort of stories where it's, like, a foster father sort of thing, and like a orphan daughter, yada yada yada. It's like those shit, that shit. Good shit, good shit. My favorite. That's why I'll always have really, really conflicted feelings, because a lot of the time, and I will call out Japanese media for this a little, some of the times they still just make it like, somehow it develops beyond a father-daughter relationship, and I'm like, I'm really not okay with this. Like, I'm not against exploring that and then, the realization, no, that's not okay. or know that's not what they actually want. I'm not okay with it being like a central plot point longer though than that, beyond that stage. The middle-aged man one is an example of that. It basically kind of had a found family vibe to it. Where... Oh god, I will say I chuckled something fierce with like how every episode that man gets laid. But like, he does find a daughter that's like 12 basically. Takes her under his wing. And then it had a plot point that I was like, oh, this is cool. And then I saw where it led and I'm like, I'm very disgusted. Basically it had a moment where, so the little girl was learning magic and she was really capable. And then one time she's like, I'm having stomach pains and the world is coming to an end. And then like one of the other women clock on and go, oh, she's oh, and he's like, I don't, oh, and he just leaves it to them. And she comes out at some point and goes like, hey, look, I can have babies now. And it's like, yeah, I guess. It's like, I want to have your baby. And it's like, no. Not at least for like 5 years. So your body, and it's just like immediately just how? No. You even said yourself you see her as your daughter. Don't even make that shitty joke. Because he's just like, well, I mean, every daughter says they want to marry their dad or shit like that. And it's like, I mean, yeah, but also, don't feed it. It's just, no. Especially at that age, you are now creating a delusional atmosphere, especially when she's already got a fucking savior complex. So that one got to me a little. I got real upset that it's like, I thought it was going to be an interesting arc dealing with that, but it just led on to a really bad, like, weird, uncomfortable thing. Marry a dad? Yeah. Hey, you devil, how's it going? What a thing to come into. But it's genuinely, like, I will always say that shit makes me the most uncomfortable. I think it's a hentai at the moment. This one's not a hentai, that's the wild part. They do censor everything, except for the fact that the beast women are naked a lot of the time. But I think they get away with it, quotation marks, because there's no nipple. It's really funny. They basically show everything but the coochie. I would marry Pup. Hell yeah. But that's different, right? Because that's not like I'm your foster or biological dad. I'm just your daddy. There's a difference. That's okay. Do I know the anime you're talking about? The one I'm specifically talking about at the moment is one I watched last night, which was like, middle-aged shopper gets isekai. I think is like the actual name or something. It's like 40-year-old man gets sent to another world. It's again, it's a solid series. I enjoyed it a lot. I just felt real uncomfortable with a couple of the gratuitous moments that were there. There was just a handful of them that kind of deteriorated the series a little bit, but overall the rest of it I was cool with. Especially the fact that it's just like, polygamy just became like very casual. I kind of chuckled at that. It's like my man just fucking got laid. Just sounded familiar. Oh, there's a few series like it, yeah. But again, so that's why I say, I love like foster parent stories, specifically like foster dad and foster daughter, sort of like found father, found daughter stories. I think those are really, really fun and fascinating. And I don't know, maybe it's like the mature man, like part of my brain that's just kind of like, damn, I wish I had sort of stuff, right? Like the envy part. I'll be real with you. Was it Somali and the Spirit? The Forest Spirit, I think is one of the ones I'll use as an example here, is that one just made me cry at so many moments and made me feel super emotional. Or like had emotional feelings for, and I loved that series a lot. That'll always be one of the peaks one. Somalia's peak anime, yeah it is. It's incredible. It is exactly what I'm talking about. Where it's got like father that does not know jack shit about raising a child, and child that is like one of the most fucking weird things ever, and it creates so much like intense scenarios. It's so good. Those stories are just amazing to me. I will always love them. The problem is so this is what led on to this discussion thing, is like how often Japanese media decides, hey, you know, it's maybe they get romantic, you know, as a ending point. It's like, no. I will burn your house to the ground. Stop. Adding it to the watch list, 100% is a good one. It is like easily one of my favorite series of all time. It is like at least top 20. Like, I would recommend having a good bag of popcorn and some tissues. And like sitting and watching it all in one go. Yeah. Hope they get married. I'm gonna burn it. Gonna burn your house to the ground, I swear to God. That's why I'll always stand by. I refuse to acknowledge the, like, implied ending of, if it was for my daughter, I would defeat the Demon Lord. I will always ignore the fact that that had an ending the way it did. I will always disbelieve it and just move on, right? Watching anime add romance to a parent-child dynamic feels like drinking acid and then getting pegged in a cactus at the same time. Like, again, I want to stress, and I want to acknowledge this the most. I'm not against having an arc of the story dealing with that as a problem. Right? There are plenty that do that and do it tastefully. But they like make it an arc about this character not understanding their own feelings, their own all that sort of stuff. That's fine. Then they like the ones that are good make that conclude with a, hey, you know what? That isn't actually how I see this relationship going. I just really care about my father. They are there for me, and I feel extremely attached to them. That just happens to potentially look like this, but it's not. It is different. That's okay. What I'm not okay with is it going beyond that point of, like, exploring that being a problem. Right? I have a sister and it feels so wrong for me to see that. Yeah. Dude, I'll stand by. It depends on certain aspects when it comes to the sibling stuff. I will always use Redaku no Cavalry or something like that as my, like, core argument to that shit. They need to raise their population. I mean, but, like, no Cavalry did something that made my brain finally click to why incest or incestuous sort of things are so common, in a sense. And I will at least use it as my way of not wanting to vomit and turn off the series when I see that shit now. Is, in that, there is a query between some of the best characters in it, right? So it has a little sister that's really into the big brother, right? And they are biologically related. Yes, I am explaining this because we have to go through this. One of the characters asks her at some point, do you know that this is wrong? And she responds, yes. Does that change your feelings? No. Because she explains that she, in the environment they had, and when you hear this, you'll understand, like, this is a lot of those stories have this. In the environment that was had, her brother never got the time of day, got never any emotional support, nothing. He was, in fact, basically treated like a fucking, I hate it, right? But in that one, she goes to the fact of, so she felt she needed to fill that. She needed to fill that spot of giving him the emotional side that a human needs. She kept doing it, and kept doing it, and kept trying to fill that hole that he had, so much so that she went too far and basically changed her own mentality because of it to being so, like, over-exerting of it that it turned almost romantic feelings. But at the end of the day, all she actually truly wants is for her brother to be happy. And that's why while she'll fight as a romance interest, she also acknowledges the main guy is falling for this other girl. She kind of doesn't like it, but she also is like, at least he's happy. That there was the best way to ever do that sort of story. I still don't think it's a thing that should really have to be ever justified or explained, but the fact is they did it in a way that meant it could be palatable. By doing it palatable, I have now been able to transition that concept into other series I watch, and it has now made me no longer care. But yeah, like, I know, Devil, it's like the over-exaggerating aspect of it. And it's... I think this is the thing with anime, is like a lot of people that are external to anime will look at that stuff and go, no, that's fucking disgusting. It's like, yeah, you're not wrong, right? You're not actually wrong at all, but also it's an acknowledgement that should be made as like, you have to take the context of the story into consideration. It's why, we've talked about it before as well with Gate, which genuinely also really good series if it's not been watched already. Highly recommend that. It's basically what happens is, there is isekai portals that turn up in Japan, and the JDF, the Japanese Defense Force, like local defense force, go through into it and go into a fantasy world, and it's all about the politics that will come from that. What happens when you bring literal tanks and Apache helicopters into a world with dragons, magic, and castle? Right? Like, that one, I loved that, but there's a sequence in it specifically that I absolutely adore, and I will always get slightly emotional at because of how beautiful it was, where basically the ambassador from Japan was getting hit on by, like, this one girl that's, like, really underage, but it's, like, within legal things in their country. But he's like, no, I'm not feeling comfortable with this, it's not okay, all that stuff. But he does still kind of get attached to the girl, right? The dragons would probably have sex with the Apache. I like that, but yeah. Anyway, so something happens politically internal, and a civil political problem occurs in this fantasy kingdom. They're now in a situation where they can't do something because they're not being asked. They're not getting involved because that's not their place. However, there is a moment where she's basically kidnapped and they're at a singular line. She crosses that line, runs past this dude, and therefore is now under the protection of the JDF. Because she sought sanctuary. And in that moment, those two run together, it's like across this field, they hug and the sun rises behind them. It had been a hell of an emotional moment leading up to this, because it's like, you can't save these people because you do not have jurisdiction. You are interacting on a level that you cannot feasibly do in our world without basically being considered overstepping boundary. But because she managed to get away from them and get to run to him, that changed the entire circumstance, and it led to this really, really emotional catch-up of these two. And then afterwards, he's like, you know what? Sure, we'll marry when you're of age. Because she was real fucking smart for her age as well. But, like, he's just like, you know what? Sure, fuck it. I do care about you at this point. I was like, okay, I can accept this, because there was a lot of fucking build-up to this. As well as it's an implication from a non-normal standard for us. You're real mature for your age. Those words are the most disgusting fucking words in the world. I swear to God. I never want to hear those. You're real mature for your age. It's like, ugh. Disgusting. Disgusting. But yeah, again, it's that aspect of you have to take contextual things into consideration. And I think that's something that, like, anime has actually taught me quite well. Is that, like, within the context of the series, his soul is older than her body. No! God. I hate it. No, Becky, no! I think that's worse. I do think that's pretty bad as well. On the other hand, I'm very immature for my age. See, that's funny. I like that. That's okay. The others are like, ugh. It's disgusting. And that's, again, so it's context, and I think that's the mistake, again, external viewers of anime has been made for a very, very long time, is just, oh, well, that's sibling incest, or that's, like, that's a child, all that shit. And it's like, look, I'm not gonna disagree with you, and it's definitely uncomfortable, at the very least, but also, they're lolly 300 years old, my man. My soul is younger than my body. Exactly. That's basically how this all works, right? It's like, that's how I'm going. I'd like to think my soul is younger than my body. Well, actually, it literally is, because my body's somehow older than it's actually supposed to be. Parts of it are, anyway. That 10-year-old body? Yeah, hag. Dude, what's that one fucking, like, series where, the idol comes to, like, the outskirts and it's all about farming? And the teacher in it is, like, she looks like she's fucking 12 or something, and she's just the most thirsty fucking thing ever. She even threatens to, like, fuck the students. It was a weird series. I'm trying to remember what it was. It's good, too. Really wild. Why are so many of the teachers so thirsty in anime, actually, now that I'm thinking about it? There's some fucking pent-up feelings by a lot of high school boys, huh? It's like, damn, my teacher was really hot. I wish she was into me. It's like, well... There's one of the, that one teacher is a lolly acting like a kid. Pink hair, little one. Is that it? Is that the one I'm thinking of? Alright. Oh, yeah, fucking... that one. No, that is not the one I'm thinking of. But... what is it? This. Norin. Norin. This is the one I'm thinking of. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Ringo. Cause, yeah, I think this is the one I'm thinking of. This one's a solid one. It's, very funny. Kind of thinking how Japanese grow up and their whole pent-up horny is getting put into their work in anime or manga instead of making more population. I mean, if we want to be real for a moment, that's not even probably inaccurate, but that's also because of the way their culture is, right? They want to increase their population, just let them in the country. To be fair, they're doing... Okay, so this is real talk moments. They are actually doing a massive amount of, like, foreigner influx. If you want to understand, like, how big the foreigner, like, stuff is become now, and this is going to be a really fun moment. Did you know that, like, I think it's 7 years ago, Japan had a 1% foreign population? Which is almost unheard of in most, like, developed countries. But you want to know the fun part? It's now at 2%. It's a lot more. It's a lot more. Like, they clearly had the feelings for a teacher before and put them in the plot in their art. The problem is still here, yeah. Create a giant dick in celebration. They're a very reserved people outside of, like, celebrations. But they're also, like, the fact is, political marriages still do kind of exist in Japan, quite a lot. In fact, business marriages are very common. Where it's like two people get married so they share their economic standing with each other so they can get a better place. They will still sleep in separate beds. And I'm not saying, by the way, again, not saying this is the root cause of all of this. It's not. That's not how fucking population things work. The point is that it's like, that is an important acknowledgement that needs to be made. Is that, like, this is a culture of their country. It does impact it at least a little bit. By comparison, in my country, I mean, I've made this joke before and I'll stand by it. To my understanding, I don't have any kids, and that's not an uncommon phrasing here in New Zealand. At least for my age bracket. It's starting to become less the case now. Like, there was a lot of, like, teenage, especially underage sex in New Zealand a lot of times. And families of, like, 2 or more are not uncommon. 2 or more children. It's one another. Yeah, it's also very expensive to raise children in Japan. But that's also the case in all the countries. They're mostly socially anxious. Well, it's because it's the kind of, there's a philosophy in Japan, and this is me, like, kind of narrowing down a lot of concepts and definitely skipping over a lot of things. I'm not trying to be culturally insensitive with it, but just want to acknowledge it, is that their culture is very reserved, right? Is that they don't want to make an impact. It's about kind of being wallflowers the whole time. That's why, like, you don't want to talk on the phone on public transport and stuff like that. You don't want to be abrasive to another person living, and you expect the same in kind. In Poland, we get 500 for a kid we make. Imagine your job is just children making, get the money for the go. Get damn. never think that we used to be samurais constantly surrounded by hot Asian women have a problem getting it on. But it's also the problem of, like, so globalization has mattered quite a bit in Japan. It has done a lot of damage as well. This is something that, like, is the case in almost all countries. But, simply put, what often happens is grass is greener scenario. It's like, I don't want to marry another Japanese person. I want to marry a foreigner. I want to marry a Westerner, right? It's the same with Westerners. The amount of times I know Westerners, like, the amount of friends I know that are like, nah, I wanna hook up with an Asian girl. And it's like, why? Oh, they're hotter. It's like, okay. I mean, you got a type, I guess. I mean, there's no Asians in this area. It's like, yeah, I know, it's really disappointing. It's like, So yeah, it's grass is greener scenario. So, again, it's one of those, there's so many compounding factors, and with a very large elderly population in Japan as well, it's just kind of important. Doesn't matter a race. I mean, yeah, again, it shouldn't really. I'm definitely the wrong person to talk to that shit for, because not only do I really not care about, like, outward experiences, outward, I'm blanking on the word, appearances, there we go. Outward appearances as much. I've also dated guys, right? Like, I'm not here for hot women, I'm just here for hot people sometimes. I like my visual candy, but also, Oh god, yeah, the fucking... I hate that so much. I hate that one so much. Basically there, Banky, by the way, that joke there is exactly why I got laid while I was over there. And she even said that. It's like, damn, you are way bigger than anyone else here. That's... Oh, and I'm like, okay. I don't know if this is, like, a thing I really am happy about, I'll be honest. Sure. Still not dated me. I mean, get your ass to New Zealand, I'll date you. I don't like distant relationships. That shit don't work that well for me. I say that very, very seriously. Right? Look, I'll always stand by this. I'll always stand by this. However you find your way of doing that shit working, go for it. But, like, my god, the amount of times I've had people go like, nah, you should try a distance relationship. I'm like, nah. I've done distance relationships. That shit do not work for me. I just sit there and get in my own world and just forget to message people. If I don't have people, like, actively going to see me and all that, I will just isolate and stay in my own world, and that's not a good thing. I need people to come along and break me out of my world. That's what I need. Right? Like, I need someone that's willing to kind of knock on the outside of the door of my head and go, hey, do you want to take a break from whatever's going on in there? It's like, you know what? Yes, I do. That's what the streams are, in a sense. That's one of my only ways of forcing myself to do that, is to, like, stop being in my own brain and do other stuff. That's why I'm also really happy I'm living with good friends of mine, is because they literally will come and knock on my door and go, hey, how you doing? Hey, do you want to come play a game? Hey, do you want to have dinner? Sometimes, right? Or I'll go into the house, go make some food, and I'll knock on one of the, like, the office door they have in there. It's like, hey, yo, how's it going? Fuck, did that last night and chatted with one of my landlords, and like, we were just talking about fucking stupid anime shit for a bit. It was great. People seriously try to give you life advice. They must either not know you or hell yeah. I mean, it's one of those difficult things of people have good intentions. Good intentions are always a difficult thing. And you want to hold hands and watch Last of Us episode 13 together? Hell yeah. Dude, I stand by. One of my favorite activities is to sit there and watch and just chat about either unrelated stuff or chat about the series that we're watching. That's why I like watching shitty anime, is because it's like, I can talk over it and it not deter from the series. If I'm watching a really good series, I tend to be very quiet because I'm like super enjoying it. In fact, my landlord made me watch Epic the Musical, which is like a audio only, but people have added like animated things for it, where it's like a bunch of songs about the tale of Odysseus. And I was pretty damn quiet through almost all of it. I don't think she realizes how much it's like, oh, that's a really good sign I'm enjoying it. Especially if I'm starting to get, like, evil smiles. Like, I really enjoyed it. There's a lot of good music to it. Watch the slideshow anime? Oh, God. I don't want to watch that one. The fucking, TBAB or something like that, or something like that, I think is the shorthand for it. Debate, or whatever. But like, yeah, no, I know the one you're talking about. It's the one coming out of the moment where it's just like, the pain of it is, it itself is a really good story. It's just getting completely dumpstered by, the animation of it. Like, it's actually painful. Because it's, like, the original story of it is, like, kind of on that same level as, Mushoku Tensei and shit like that. And you do not get that from what they've done with that anime. TBATE, yeah, that one. The something, after... I can't remember the name of it. But yeah, that one I'm probably gonna end up watching at some point. But like, it's kind of that thing of, I might try and convince myself not to watch it, but go just read it. For my own sake. I mean, there's one series coming out at the moment that I'm super excited to go watch, which is... the second season of Apothecary Diaries. The beginning after the end, thank you. Apothecary Diaries is, like, just such a visually stunning and fun universe. For me. I really, really like it. Never seen Mushoku Tensei? It's... if you can get past the, like, slightly weirdness of it being a middle-aged dude, doing kind of really fucking weird shit, like, I cannot stress enough, it is a middle-aged guy that is reincarnated as a baby, justifying, all of his actions by being a child and, like, using that. It's a really good series. It is a genuinely really good series if you can get past that. If you can't, I get that. It makes the early stuff really weird. I don't watch much anime, but the one that I did watch, Assassination Classroom, I still need to watch that. That's a really good one. I still haven't watched it though. I need to fix that one day. I'm trying to ignore the previous lives most of the time, just they were born as a new human and that's all. The problem with Shuka Tensei is it drives home his connection to the old world a lot. And in fact, it's like, it is actually a very large plot point. Don't get me wrong, once it gets to a specific point in the story, the isekai part of it basically doesn't matter at all anymore. I want to stress this as well. It's like, once you get to the end, especially of like the first season, it pretty much doesn't have any relevancy at all anymore to the past of his world, but the events that he did during that time does. Oh, Remonster's really fun. I liked that one. No, Remonster was a really fun series. Again, wording on this is important. Very fun series, not a very good series. That's probably what I like the most about Atbei, is Arthur in this literally fights his own hormones as someone who knows children, as I used to be. Yeah, no, I mean, like, that's the thing, right, is that you've got one or two ways of going about stuff, is that you're either like what Mushoku Tensei did, which is old creepy dude justifying his actions because of hormones, or fighting against the problems that come about growing up again. I really do like that shit. I mean, look, if you want another series that's technically, loosely, quotation marks, an isekai, that I think is one of the best series out there, and I highly recommend reading it over watching it, but watching it's still good, is Real Life. If you've not come across Real Life, it is incredible. Shorthand of it is basically there is a government program where what happens is you get given a fucking pill, and you visually de-age to the point where you're a teenager again, and you're sent to high school to reform. And it's basically an attempt to kind of like go, you get a restart. You get, after this, you get job opportunities and stuff like that. And it's really, really good. There's a reason why I say it's loosely conceptually an isekai, because it's like you get reset to a different thing. But the story itself's so good, and the ending is... It is such a good ending. Real Life is incredible. Real Life is amazing. Because it's interesting when you put a adult, per se, into a child world, right? Because it's like what comes about that are like things that you've learned that impact the rest of stuff. Like one of the things that he kind of learns about is like, these kids are dealing with kid problems, and they see them as the biggest things in the world because that's what you do when you're a kid. Is like, oh, this is like the end of the world. You might not say that, you might not directly think that, but it basically comes across as that. But all that happened is that your crush said no. Oh well, you'll live. Move on. Right? Move on with your life, do the next thing. That's what you learn as an adult, is that like, the world's not gonna stop for your tragedy. And it sucks ass. But as a kid, you still have the opportunity to think that. And that's kind of what the story is about. Is it like, is this guy dealing with these kids? And how he comes off really, really mature because he is. Because he's lived a life beyond what he is there. But it also means he can be a bit of a kid. It gets funny moments because he's like a smoker, for example. So it's like, kid smoking, delinquent, yada yada yada. And like the expectation, oh, you can handle like school, like math tests and stuff like that. I'm gonna be real with you, Chief. If I go back to school right now, like go back to high school, I would struggle because of the expectations are so like driveled and are so low end that there's stuff that becomes default in your brain that you probably wouldn't be able to answer them as easily, especially at my age. Like, it's a big difference. It's been quite a while. Right? It's stuff like that. And it was a great series of showing what would actually happen if you were given the opportunity. Like, that thing you'll always hear is like, what happened, and like, would you actually want to go back to high school? Like, if you took your brain and put it in your high school self, what would happen? And it's really fucking fascinating because basically the answer is a lot of things could happen. And depending on who you are now, doesn't actually change things. If, for example, you're a recluse like I am, I would probably struggle a little bit in high school. I would be really good at making friends and getting things going, but like I would also be horrendous at other aspects because I am very much like a quite introverted individual. I'm charismatic but introverted. It's an annoying fucking thing. So it creates a cool thing. You'll find often the series I enjoy the most approach concepts and subjects that are like ones that are great, like theory questions, right? It's asking a what if question and presenting it in a really fun and interesting way. I mean, fuck, one of the other series that's coming out at the moment that I believe I read it and watched the first season of was, no, I don't think I watched the first season because I read it, and I don't know where the series is at, now, because it was still ongoing when I read it, I think. It was like, I spent 300 years killing slimes and hit level 999 or 99 or whatever the fuck it was. It's basically a witch that would just, like, come into town from time to time, do some stuff, but then spend all of her time killing slimes. And she just max levels. And it's been like 300 years. So everyone else thinks of her as kind of like a legend in a sense, but she's just like, it's, you know, a thing. And it approached something that like Freyrin also, Freyrin Beyond Journey's End, also approached. And I loved that, which was, dealing with the fact of like what happens when you have an individual that lives beyond the normal natural means, a life longer than those around her. One of the scenes in Freyrin does it like phenomenally in my eyes is the shopkeep at one point, right? There's a shopkeep that like she goes and visits multiple times in an episode and he gets older each time she visits him, and like significantly older. Did you watch Angle from Another World? It is on my list. It is on my list. It has been on my list for a long time. I've just never said... Again, it's one of those things of... I keep forgetting when I have the time to watch stuff, and when I think about it, I'm like, but I'm not in the mood right now. Which I absolutely hate my temperament with that. It's a good series. I know, yeah. It's definitely one that I do need to watch. I mean, like, I'm gonna be honest, I've got a soft spot for also, like, looking at series where it's, like, the X-Isekai, right? Like, there's a couple of series that have approached that concept. Where it's like, hey, they've been isekai'd, what happens when they come back? And it's not a common concept that's explored. right? Because, like, what happens when you're able to be, like, able to do that shit? Because are you able to retain what you learned? Are you able to retain the powers you gained? And then you get, like, fucking other things as well. Attitude towards the other world and the things that happen there. Yeah. Yeah. It was very funny. It was, like, I've seen highlights and it's like, I just want to watch it at some point. Might try and remember to watch it tonight. Because I don't think I've got... I'm probably going to do another, like, double watch series tonight. Can't really say what happens that I want to discuss. Yeah, no, I know. Again, I'll always say one thing when it comes to spoiler stuff. I'm normally a mixed bag when it comes to them. I understand a lot of people don't want to see them. And then there's a certain point in time where I don't want to see them. However, if you're trying to convince me to watch something and I'm not already convinced, spoilers are kind of acceptable. Alright? I think some people also think like this. I don't know everyone does, but like, if you want to convince me to watch something, you gotta send me like, for example, this is always the thing. I will scroll YouTube. I will see something that catches my eye as a YouTube short or a video about a series, and I'm like, you know what? That looks interesting. I'll watch this. Watch through. I'm like, damn, that looks interesting. I'm gonna watch that series. That's it. And sometimes it could be a GIF on Twitter. I'm not even kidding. Actually, that's the case with the one series I watched recently. See if I can find it. This one. I think this is the one I was talking about earlier that I think I finished it actually the day before. Right? Yes, this one. So this series here, I started watching this purely because of a singular little video. And that video, I'm gonna be honest, has no real bearing on the rest of the series. It is a singular character in this. I don't think I'm gonna be able to find... Oh yeah, there we are. Lilia. Lilia here. She is basically a witch in a world where, like, I'm not gonna go too far into it because it's spoilers, but, like, she is a witch. She basically turns up dressed as, like, other things kind of normally and stuff like that. And there's a point in time where she does, like, a magic girl transformation in a way that was, like, quite cool. And just still looked really dark and evil. Because she is initially an antagonist. But then you find out some stuff and you understand what's actually going on. And it's really good. Because she's in league with the yokai hunters, which, yokai hunters are typically, like, half yokai, people, and half yokai is not, like, what you'd think. Half yokai is a condition that is applied when you would survive a special lightning strike from the alternate world. I'm just seeing a short about a side character from a series, you know, edit AMV style. People in the comments thought it was the MC. Yeah. No, but it was just like, this was a random, you can see here, it's supporting, but like, genuinely, she's just an antagonist that turns up occasionally. She does start the series, though. That's all I will leave with that, about her. But yeah, again, it's really important to kind of acknowledge some people are like, hey, yo, this is a, like, random-ass spoiler. Now, I do want to stress, you should always mark your spoilers as spoilers, right? I mean, that's something that's kind of acceptable and understood across the board. But, like, it's mark your spoilers as spoilers, but, like, also just go, like, hey, this isn't hugely relevant, and if anyone's kind of curious about this series, this is something worthwhile looking at. Because, yeah, that's how you're gonna make me want to go play something, or watch something. Is, like, giving me just enough spoilers to go, like, here's some stuff that you might like from it. I'm like, ooh, you've made me curious. Now I'll go look at this. But that's why I say, like, not everyone's like that. A lot of people aren't. But yeah, like, AMV videos were really good for that as well back when. It's like, I'd see an AMV and I'm like, this looks like an interesting series. Snape kills Dumbledore, spoilers. What's the spoiler that I wrote for the Discord rules? For that, for the one I'm an admin in? I think it was like Bruce Wayne as Batman, is the example I gave. Yeah, here we are. I'm not gonna show too much of the server. In fact, I'll try and hide as much as I can. Ah, goddamn. But like, here, so I wrote these rules, by the way. But like, this is an example here of like, I want to talk about the thing. Where can I do it? We have a spoilers chat. Yada yada yada. And I kind of explain some of the stuff around it. But it's like, also try and add a visible part, because this had to get added later on, because people stopped doing this. But it's like, try and add a visual part about what series, movie, etc. you were talking about, not to confuse people. This also includes if it's a manga or anime spoiler. Like, and here's an example, and it's DC Comics, and then the spoiler tag is Bruce Wayne as Batman. If I just do this, you can see that that's what's set as a spoiler here. Alright. That there is a perfect example of kind of what I like with spoilers. Truckun runs over Malith, life spoiler. Hang on a fucking minute, what? Dude, I have so much random shit that I have to write for these fucking rules. I hate these rules. I kind of want to redo them again, but like, I don't also want to redo them again. I tried to make them loose enough that like, it left a lot of interpretation, but it made things clear enough. And that's kind of what you need to do with rules and governance, is you need to make certain rules loose enough that, like, they can handle different scenarios. One of the best examples in that is it's just, like, I have the rule is, like, don't be an ass. I think, what is it again? Don't be... Where is it? Be cool and good. This is a blanket rule for not being an asshole. The server does not condone excessive spam, malicious behavior, legit bullying, or any jokes/memes about terrorism, pedophilia, transphobia / anti-LGBTQ, suicide, and mental health. And it's like, that, you wanna know why that's there? Because that's literally Discord's terms of service. I copy and pasted some of that from Discord's terms and service. But I basically just worded it in a way of, just don't be an asshole. Genuinely. And I know that rule doesn't get followed all the time. I know it doesn't, and I should warn more people. But also, I can't be asked. I have handed out like 1 or 2 warnings ever since like we had a massive change in that server. I did not ban you yet if those are the rules are. Yeah, it's, to be fair, they don't track everything. The problem specifically is, especially if it's a private server, you're fine. No one's gonna really care. But if you're a public server or like a content creator server, that changes everything. After a large number of kills and being labeled as Japan's #1 serial killer, Truck Hood moves to New Zealand to kill Malith and be able to isekai as his VTuber. Dude, I stand by. I would love to get isekai'd. I am the worst kind of person to isekai because I am actually going to turn into the villain. Like, I'll do good things. I will save the world if I need to, but I will also, like, control that shit down to the fucking dime. Because, one of the things I was watching with the, like, the shopping one, right, that I was talking about yesterday, is I was like, what he's doing is, like, low level of what I would do, which is, so, there's two of them at the moment. One of them is, like, massively creating, like, an industrial revolution, almost. Off to the side, he's given them pump jacks, he's given them mayonnaise, stuff like that. I get why, though, I see what's happening. Whereas, like, our guy is, like, trying to hide his stuff as not tech. He's trying to explain it as magic. Which is a great way of going about things, because it means that it's easier to, go like, oh, only I can do this. And it's not easy to recreate because the technological level of the world is not able to get there yet. So, therefore, I will be able to figure out from there. Said Malifaux getting isekai'd as a level 1 16th century peasant with no special powers or any magic. You think that would stop me? You vastly underestimate my fucking game. Look, if I can make it to adult life, I will probably be fine. I will say that, because I will set up before then. If there is magic in that world, I will figure out what I need to do towards it. If it can't be usable, I will find alternatives. You think I wouldn't start like a peasant revolution to take over? Like, the fuck? I'm mildly insulted. To be fair, I will also stress, I would never be the person at the top, right? Like, you'll find if I ever did these kind of worlds, if I got into them, I would never be the main character. A lot of people would be main characters, with quotation marks. Cartkun. But yeah, no, fucking, yeah. Nah, 16's old enough. I would have probably taken over a small town by then. I'm pretty confident in that. The amount of shit that's stored in this noggin, I'd get far. Also, yeah, no, I did witness you struggling with the word. It was funny. Fucking dyslexia, man. To be fair, dysentery is definitely a hard one. There we go. But yeah, like, to be fair as well, it's one of those things of, if I ever did get isekai'd and did get an OP skill, oh no. Reminds me of a story I was writing with some mates. One day maybe I'll revisit that. I guess, okay, I have a story I'd love to do, but like, I would definitely not want to do the editing for it. There's a story that's kind of like an isekai with a group of people, that I always kind of wanted to do. That basically, this is about around an old group of mine, and what we had for it was, the rule of thumb was every character, so it was us ourselves self-inserted, we would get a power, but we would get a detriment akin to, locked in with that kind of power. So it would work alongside the the power. So I think mine was the Immortal Sage. So my power was I would be able to understand magic extremely easily and well, and I would never be able to die of old age. Problem was, I had such accelerated aging that I would age like 100 years in a month. So I would get decrepit very easily, and I could no longer actually, like, go around and move very easily. Okay, I don't think it was 100 years in a month, but it was kind of the idea of, like, we'd spend a year apart, and I looked like you could barely see me under white long hair, and I couldn't get up from a chair easily. But it's like, that was one example. There was another one which was like, extremely accelerated healing and good resistance to things. So like, their body is basically armor, but they lose all sense of like taste and a lot of sense of touch. You can't, you can fly, but you cannot descend while flying. That's kind of an example of kind of the stuff we were kind of going with. It was just like, it was detriments that worked with our personalities, but also worked with the power that we had. It was an interesting lot of design that we put into it. Uses magic to make a young clone, body transfer soul into it. So that was actually the discussion we had, is that like, what I would end up doing is I would end up having a clone walk around, and like, one of the times where all of us got together after like, not meeting for a year, after getting a lot of information and stuff like that, we all got together. There is this old man in the room, there is me, and then there is my mate that stayed with me to hang out, like, look after me. And it's just like, so who's the old guy? It's like, well, that's actually the real me. This is a clone that I'm puppeting. Or become a lich. You can't die, though. Like, I can't die of pretty much any natural cause was the idea. Old age was the main thing, but like, I basically never needed to do anything or get, like, all that, because magic would sustain the rest of the stuff that I would need. I would just be an old man that could never die. But I could use, like, almost all magic. So it was a mixed bag. I couldn't soul transfer or anything like that. That didn't exist. It was puppeting I could do, though. So I had, like, copies of me all over the place. Kind of like herder dolls. They just don't die. They transfer soul out of decaying body to be immortal. Ah, okay. Not quite that, though. If you can't become dead, you can't become undead. Yeah. It's kind of the point I was making, though. It's like, I'd be stuck. I don't think we ever established if you could, like, actively kill me with something, because, like, again, the idea is I'd probably have magic prevention against a lot of that shit. Probably be nearly impossible to kill. Regardless of if it was in combat or not, as well. But it was just, yeah, think herder dolls almost kind of scenario, well before herder it existed, right? But that was like, that was my power, and that fit my personality and everything quite well, because it's like, probably don't want to adventure around all the place, and if I do, I would just send my clones out to do it and info gather. It was a cool idea. I still think I could make a story out of it. I still think I could. I'd have to change a lot of things, though. I think for a couple of, can think of a couple of people that you can kill in D&D lore. Or that you can't kill, I'm assuming is what you meant. But no, it was genuinely like us sitting around and going like, let's make a story around this. And we came up with ideas for it all. Because I think it was all of us at a party, like a real life party. Like we were just hanging out, drinking and shit like that, and we came up with all of this, get shit up. We just never did anything about it because none of us actually wanted to write it at the time. Wants to be a real boy. You think I would ever let that sort of shit fly? I'd find out damn quickly and there would be an assassination on that clone immediately. I'd figure out why it was defective as fast as I could to fucking weed that shit out. Or I would figure out a way to use it. Oh, you mean with that concept people could kill me or at least begging for death? Yeah, true. Sends his minions at the innocent creature like a fucking anime supervillain. I mean, do you expect anything else? Like, seriously? Like Lady of Pain, she can kill you? I mean, it's like, again, it's only natural causes, right? That's what I was kind of like locking in with. It's like, it would be anything that would like be food related, all that shit, I couldn't die of starvation. I could probably still feel it. I expect you to be better than a stereotype. That's the thing, though. While I would be better than a stereotype, I would still play to a stereotype to cover over the other shit I'm doing. There's a reason why I say I would be an old man in like a fucking mansion somewhere no one could really interact with. It's like, oh, he's just this random lord that does like a pretty good job managing his kind of... So meanwhile, my clones are out fucking like running everything. And never mind, the list will go on forever then. Yes. No, that's why I say like, magic-wise, I'd probably have defensive stuff, but, like, realistically, yeah, it just... You could probably stab me if I wasn't paying attention and didn't have magic up. That's genuinely the idea of that character. It's one of the most fragile of the group, theoretically. If you had, like, magic nullification, I guess, of some capacity, I would just die. Because you would just be able to walk up and strangle me. Especially, like, at a specific point, because I'd probably be so old I wouldn't be able to move my fucking limbs. Right? Like, that, again, that's the point of the design of the character, was it was just... I had to be relegated to a supportive thing. You'd be fucked during the spell plague? Probably, if I got affected by it. Yeah. Like, just straight up, yeah. Like, could I die of illness? Probably not easily, but like, if you put an illness spell on me, I'd probably suffer from the illness and I would never die. Right? Like, that's the point. So, yeah, in D&D terms, that is not a strong character. You have no idea how true that is, Devil. It's like, I cast Simulacrum. Then my clone casts Simulacrum. Then he casts Simulacrum. We are Legion. We are Melith. I would love that shit. That's why I say, like, I would probably be better off as a Demon Lord than a hero. Because... there's some things. In D&D terms, there's an actual strat like that is OP as fucking banned. That's fair. I can see that. To be fair, I looked at something recently, because, like, someone was explaining, in terms of 5e, how many, like, undead summons could you potentially obtain? Man showed it, and, like, if I recall correctly, if you optimize your game pattern, you can actually have, like, hundreds of thousands of army units at your disposal. Right? And it's like, it's wild to think about that. It's like you literally have a full army going to war with you. But also, I'm gonna be real with you, Chief. I don't think any DM's letting you fucking keep that army. It's like, cool, Dragon comes in and wipes out all of them. Fuck you. You ain't starting a fucking nation in my goddamn campaign. Yes, and you can optimize that by getting a few items to collect broken gear from enemies and remaking them into new gear. Yeah. There's, like, this is the thing, and we talked about this before in other contexts, but, like, games like that, there are ways to break them in ways that are really stupid and OP. And if you're gonna go, wow, that's really OP and broken, how is this not bad? You're the problem if you're playing that shit. You're the problem. You're not starting another empire in this campaign. Exactly. It's like, look, you can do dumb shit in D&D, that's perfectly fine, but the moment you, like, actually start actively trying to break the game... Coffee Lock? Oh yeah, I know about Coffee Lock. I know about Coffee Lock. Coffee Lock is, yeah. That one's one where even I understand the concept of it, and it's... Yeah... 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 It's a bit of a it exists, and it has its problems. It's not even hard to achieve. It's like, I think it's... You don't even need to be, like, level 10 for it, if I recall correctly, right? I think you need to be, like, level... I don't remember. Again, it's not a hard build to achieve. And once you've hit it, you're like, cool, I can just do whatever the fuck I want at this point. So, it's important to accept that, like, yeah, there are ways to break games. There are always ways to break games. And it leads level 4 to work. Yeah, I was like, I'm pretty sure it's really early that you can get it to start going off. And it's like, it just gets so fucking strong by the end of it. Aren't you thankful that I don't think it's doable in Baldur's Gate 3? Pretty sure it's not doable in Baldur's Gate 3. I don't think you can trade around the spell slots for it correctly. About Kung Fu Fighting Bear, because that's something you can do. True. That's a fun one. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, Monk. You can just say Monk as well, and that's that there is a problem in its own right. A good optimized Monk build will never let your boss ever do anything. they will just permanently stagger them, stun them, everything, and like block all potential damage. Like, get perfectly stun locked in the final fight and you're done. There's a polearm build that prevents people from touching you. See, now that one, I would argue, bit better. Because at least, like, there's a thing. So you can't do it there? Yeah. Thank God. Thank God. I'm sure someone fucking modded it back, though. Still a very strong class combo. Oh yeah, and it should be. Right? It's two of the really potent spellcasters. Like, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, to be fair, they've added, Hexblade to Baldur's Gate 3 now. So, they've added arguably one of the best fucking classes in the game. Or subclasses in the game. Like, in 5e rules, anyone that's gonna try and tell me Hexblade's not one of the strongest out there, you're fucking lying to yourself. You ever wanted to have a spellcaster that could do a gazillion damage and also not take damage? Goes without saying, BG3 Ranger is better than 5e Ranger. Well, also it's playable, right? Like, that's the short answer. The Baldur's Gate 3 Ranger is a playable character. The 5e Ranger is a fucking meme that doesn't exist. It just don't play it. Just, look, again, don't know a lot about the game. I know enough to know, don't fucking touch that shit. It's not worth your time. But yeah, no, Hexblade's just insane. There is no Ranger in 5e. Well, yeah. Don't hate on Rangers. Yeah, sure. God, you guys are making me want to play more Baldur's Gate 3. Can I get the PC upgrade done already? I swear. By the way, serious thing on that, I would play the shit out of Baldur's Gate 3 along with other games once the PC upgrade's done. Like, that's a game that is going on the list. Hard, 100%. Real talk, had a friend trying to join us play, and he made a Ranger, and he was the only character that died in the whole campaign. Yep, that sounds about right. I mean, like, the problem with Ranger, and this is, again, external perspective on this, but the problem with Rangers and its design and balance is that pretty much any other class that can equip a bow can do it better and has more survivability options. Ranger does not have survivability options, nor does it have damage to back up its fucking glass-like defenses. And that's the problem. Like, you want to do range damage? Arguably spellcasters are just better. But also, you want to do range damage with a physical weapon? There are still better classes for that shit. Like, the damage does not justify the weakness of them. Rangers are situational characters. Move them to their to other environment or change the enemy, and you lose a lot of skills from the class. Yeah, it's like the problem is that it is so like it's a niche. It's a very heavy niche, and it's not powerful enough to get past that niche status. There are so many niche classes in D&D. There is a lot of niche classes in D&D, but at least within the right context, they're good. The problem is you cannot make a ranger feel good to play. That's why Baldur's Gate gave it so much more shit going on for itself. And it's still, like, not great, I'll be honest. They have the split attribute distribution from being a martial cast combo, and they have situational skills and abilities. Yeah. The Wisdom Ranger is the best time for, I had for a Ranger. Yeah. It's just sad. It's just sad, because, like, I'm not the right person as well, because I've never really enjoyed bow builds in games. It's normally not my cup of tea. You probably saw this a lot with Fable, is, my cup of tea is spell casting and being melee. Right? One of the other ways, like, I'm gonna be honest, you'll find very quickly the two main play patterns I have is I'm just gonna tank you in the face and fight you like a man, or I'm gonna cast from afar and be really, like, cast focused and ensure about controlling environments. Right? One of the best kind of ways I can have for that is, like, when I played Mass Effect, I played a lot of casters. And I know that's weird to explain, but yeah, you can consider them casters. Like the tech one. The tech one classes I also keep in mind, I did mod them a little bit so they weren't fucking shit. Specifically in Mass Effect, I think 2, where cooldowns shared cooldown. So if you'd use one ability, all of your abilities were put on its cooldown. I made it so all cooldowns were independent. That made the class significantly more enjoyable to play. And I loved playing that, because it's like, send out this drone to go fight over there, so they're focusing on this. Send out this thing to, like, nuke this dude's shield, yada yada yada. I loved that shit. But then, like, I love playing a tank. I love that, like, that one moment from Sword Art Online, that is just the, you see, my numbers are bigger than yours. Anytime you try and hurt me, I'm just gonna heal right back up. Like, that feeling, I love that shit. If I can build the ultimate tank in a game, I will. Even if that means I don't move for shit, and I don't have anything going on. I'll always stand by. One of the things I did, and I fucking love this to the end of days, is I played, Don't Starve Together, and I found a bug. I think that line's from the abridged. I mean, yes, it is. My numbers are bigger than yours. But there's some good news. See, you don't have to wonder where your god is, because he's right here, and he's fresh out of mercy. I love it. But no, it was, Don't Starve Together. I found a bug where if you went between the worlds, with one of the mods we had, you would be able to retain your skill points, but you would get your skill points again. So you could basically infinitely duplicate your skill points. So what I did was I removed all of my speed. Made it so I could just not move pretty much at all. I think I had like 20% speed. But I gave all my stats to tank. No damage, just tank. Do you want to know what character I was playing as well? It was a modded character. It was Maple from Bofuri. I had a shield that meant it did 50 damage anytime something hit me. But you see, I could only do it 10 times a day, except that was a lie! Because how the mod developer did it was that they made it use up 10% durability of your shield every time it would do it. And then when you hit 0, you can't do it anymore, right? Cool. So what the problem is that they didn't make it use up 10, they made it use up to 10%. Why does this matter? Because one of the other mods meant that your equipped weapon regenerates its durability. And because it doesn't break, it just goes to 0, it means that it's always there. Why is this all important? Well, that's because it will tick up to 1%. It's a slow tick up, but it ticks up to 1%, and that means I'm no longer at 0 and it can activate. I could not move. How I fought bosses was I stood in the fucking spot, that fucker hit me, and it would die. And that was exactly the point of Maple. And that is the shit that I enjoy the most. I am here to be a problem. I am not here to die. I am here to be a problem. So that's my favorite shit. That and like the wizard that has... Okay, you're like, this is where it goes to. I either want to play Maple from Buffuri or I want to play fucking Invoker from Dota 2. Those are the two ways I like playing. It's, I ain't here to die, or I'm here to cast almost every spell known to fucking man. In a combination way that you'll sit there and go, wait, that shit works like that? And I'm like, yeah, it does. I cast Cold Snap, I cast Ice Wall, I cast fucking Flame Elemental, I put a fucking buff on the Flame Elemental and that shit chase you down, you die. Then I will fucking cloak myself, run in front of you, put you in a tornado once the freeze, the freeze snap stops, and then I will dump a fucking meteor on you once you come out of that fucking tornado. That is how I play my fucking Invoker. You die. It's great. Love that shit. And that's just one of the, like, hundreds of thousands of combos you can do with that dude. I'll also probably toss an EMP somewhere in there, especially if it's a team wipe. And, like, toss in Deafening Blast. Might as well. Men tongue simple. I had a friend who designed a D&D character with heavy armor, wall shield, shield spells, and I just grabbed a flying ability in every fight. Instead of tanking, he'd just spam low-cost spells from above. Dude, I like the idea of that. That's actually really funny. It's like, you can't kill me. You can't get to me. I'm here to be a problem. That's great. But yeah, if I could make Maple in D&D, just that, not even like the OP shit that she has off to the side, it's just that I just don't want to take damage. I want to aggro the enemy and not take damage. And be a problem. What's that one? Fuck. Y'all are gonna remember the spell better than I can. What's that one spell paladins get where it's like a fucking radius around them, and you choose whether it's gonna be radiant or necrotic damage? And they have to constantly do saving throws while in it. And if they actually save it, they still just take half damage. Like, that kind of spell, that's the kind of spell I'd like. Was less funny for the squishy team. I mean, that sounds like a them problem. But yeah, that spell is the kind of spell that I like. Spirit Guardians, yep, that's it. Yeah, so that is the perfect example. Like, I'm gonna be real with you, Chief. I feel like the first time I play D&D, I'm gonna probably play a paladin. Same player rage quit the game after taking damage. God damn, that's kind of funny. It's like, how the fuck could I take damage? It's like, well, I mean, you're not immune to all damage ever. Right? Someone. But yeah, I would definitely try and find the best way to be as immortal as possible. Actually, you two are fucking D&D nerds. Let's figure this shit out. How would I do it? How would I make a paladin that's like just incredibly hard to kill, but is gonna be the problem? In my group, we have the Guardian be Hulk Hogan. Also, the spell is cleric exclusive. Is it? We ruled that his character got a heart attack after getting hurt for the first time in his life. That's so good. Because I don't think... You gotta multi-class, right? You gotta do some multi-class. I think it's, yeah, what is the one that I'm thinking of? Is it's in, Spirit Shroud, maybe? Of Mountain of HP, go Druid Barbarian. Nah. That's, I want to not take damage. I don't want to be taking damage and can be taking damage forever. It's not taking damage, that's the idea. Let's see. Am I just straight up wrong? Is it cleric and it's just not what I think it is? Yeah, I thought it was a default paladin spell, but maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, no, it is Spirit Guardians. Yeah. No, this is 100% the spell I'm thinking of. So I need to be Oh no, there you go. Oath of the Crown can get it. So there is a way for Paladin to get it. So there was a way. I'm glad. I'm assuming... if you want a high AC off the bat, there is Total Raise combined with Shield. Yeah, it's a good question of like how I would do that. Like, it's one of those things of how I would do it all. They're not like just a way to look at fucking classes on this wiki. Classes. There we go. Let's see. 17 plus 2 plus 2 plus 5. 24 AC, all possible level 1 with no magic items. That's a lot of AC, Jesus. God damn it. Start with the following equipment: martial weapon and a shield, or 2 martial weapons, 5 javelins, or any simple melee weapon, priest pack or an explorer's pack, chainmail, and a holy symbol. Oh, God. If you get fighter protection, fighting style, and go Eldritch Knight, you get +1 AC, and the shield spell to turn on if you get hit, to add an extra +5 to armor to avoid getting hit. That's a lot of AC. So what the fuck's auras? Whenever you or a friendly creature... Oh, it's just like a passive, is it? A passive AoE effect? That's pretty fucking good. While I'm conscious though, so no getting knocked out. Got it. It's usually a party buff. Okay. So what is a sacred oath feature? When you reach 3rd level, you swear your so it's, I'm guessing if I go look at, like, Crown, Oath of the Crown, it will tell me the sacred oath that they get at the levels. Yes. So 3rd level command, and deal. Warding Bond, Zone of Truth, Aura of Vitality, Spirit Guardians, Banishment, Guardian of Faith, Circle of Power, and whatever that is. Gaius. Sacred Oath, basically. Yeah, I do know that oaths are, like, the thing. I just didn't know what it meant by, like, Sacred Oath. I guess Sacred Oath is just, yeah, straight up, like, select your thing. Tenants of the Crown. The law is paramount. It is the mortar that holds the stones of civilization together, and it must be respected. Loyalty. Your word is your bond. Without loyalty, oaths and laws are meaningless. Courage. You must be willing to do what needs to be done for the sake of order, even in the face of overwhelming odds. If you don't act, then who will? And responsibility. You must deal with the consequences of your actions. You're responsible for fulfilling your duties and obligations. So, if I recall correctly, didn't you watch Code Geass? Wait, is that? No. I mean, first of all, that has 2 S's in it. But, like, to my understanding of the oaths, it's like you have those things there, right? The tenets. If you don't do these, you don't commit to these well enough, you lose them, right? Place a magical command on a creature that you can see within range, forcing it to carry out some service or refrain from some action or course of activity as you decide. If the creature can understand you, it must succeed a wisdom saving throw or become charmed by you for the duration. While the creature is charmed by you, it takes fucking 5d10 psychic damage each time it attacks in a manner directly counter to your instructions. But no more than once each day, a creature that can't understand you is unaffected by the spell. You can issue any command you choose, short of an activity that would result in certain death. Should you issue a suicidal command, the spell ends. You can end the spell early by using an action to dismiss it. A remove curse, greater restoration, or wish spell also ends it. Got it. Turns off the magical parts of the oath. Okay. You become an oath breaker if you fail the oath tenets. Got it. So I just need to, like, not break the law, do what I say I'm gonna do, run into battle like a dumbass, and not be a little bitch. That's my understanding of what that one's saying, right? Resistance to bludgeoning. Fuck, alright. Oh, jeez, okay. It's the only class that has a subclass changing feature? Oh. That's kind of cool. Okay, but it becomes a real question though of is it ever worth going to level 20 of this? Or do you want so you want multi-classing, right? Is there I'm sure there's probably a way to do like a planner, right? Just a builder. I'm now curious about this stuff, okay? This is how you get me into doing something, it's just like looking at it for a bit too long. It's gonna send a link. Okay, so now, oh god, now we have to choose a race. Just, I want, what's the smallest and cutest thing I can be that goes completely against the idea of what we're doing, but also completely synergizes? Just a small human, or a variant human, right? It's variant human that everyone fucking takes. Are you allowing homebrew? I mean, I don't know if we're allowing homebrew is the problem, right? I'm just gonna build it within the normal kind of shtick. So it's probably easier. Like, again, short answer is, think of Maple. Think of Maple from Buffuri. Right? Small, tiny, chibi girl that's like really cute and everything, but is also just unable to take damage. It's 100% my fucking shtick, and I loved that shit well before Buffuri. That's why I love that series. Reroll some dice to avoid damage. Ooh. Because I think, yeah, human variant is like the default. Just everyone uses that a lot of the time, right? Imagine Bilbo Baggins in full plate armor. That would be kind of funny. Actually, in case... in case you... Yeah. Buffuri Maple. In case we need to, like, have a visual moment. One of these days, I'll get something like this. Like this figure here. Human. Yeah, I'm thinking like human variant, right? Yeah, look at that figure. That's a cool figure. So, where are we going? Human variant. Sub-race human, what? Dominaria? Instrid? I know those ones. Doesn't have any effect? Oh, I'll leave it for now then. That. Intimidation, medicine, perception, persuasion. I feel like that's kind of what I'd go with, right? Oh god, what's this doing? Oh. No, we'll do point by. Because that's probably easier to do. Because it's like, it's Constitution and Charisma we're gonna mainly want, right? Gonna need, like, at least some. It's a dump stat. I'm disappointed in you picking skills before background. Oh yeah, we still haven't done background. So like, this is the minimum sum of this. Wisdom needs to go up as well. We can't just, like, leave this down the bottom like that, right? Two lower decks will lower AC. Yeah, it's kind of what I was thinking about, right? It's gotta be wrong. But you do need strength that we're heavy in the first place. How much strength do I need for heavy armor? Like, inside dumb stat. 100% inside dumb stat. We're not supposed to be smart. Heavy's like 15. Oof. Ouch, okay. That's harsh. Like that, then? Because we're gonna need 13 minimum because we start with chainmail. Then. I don't know how I want to do that, but hey. Just put it custom, sure. Yeah, so we need to get to 15 strength then. That's what I'm saying. At some point. Background. What do we pick? Well, I mean, we've got to be like lawful neutral, lawful good, right? With the paladin stuff. I mean, I'm gonna play this character like a fucking airhead. I'm gonna say this now. If I'm gonna do this character, it's gonna be an airhead, and she's just gonna be like, I'm not gonna take damage. The best of intentions in everyone I see. You don't have to be. You can be a little evil and still follow them. Nah, we're good person. We're dumb as fuck. We're good to the level of being a dumbass. But yeah, I'm not denying I could definitely interpret it in an evil way. I think that's correct. That's why I say, like, intelligence, not high. I'm able to see someone's, like, doing something, but I ain't smart enough to know what the fuck they're doing with it. That's why I say, like, I want to be happy airhead energy. Because it also is good as a beginning player, because it means I am constantly asking questions as a character. Right? I feel like lawful good's right for that then. I don't know what background I need to pick though. A soldier? What do you think, what her background is? Well, I mean, she's a student, right? She's a student. She has, she's a very good study. But she's also just not capable of thinking like a normal human being. That's the main thing to keep in mind with it. What is the options here? Sage would work then? Sage. What does Sage give us? I'm looking from min-max perspective. See, that's the thing. I accept taking in min-max, but also, how dumb are we gonna be with stuff? She's a student, she's also... She eats a lot of things, she... Oh yeah, self-improvement, right? She's all about self-improvement. I am horribly awkward in social situations. Yes! Wait, I'm liking this now. Oh, God damn it. Actually, I'm thinking Sage would work, yeah. So, do I just type it in? Gives int skills? God damn. I'm in the builder? How do I do it? Just add it in then. Because it sends me here when I do that. Alright, custom doesn't do it there. Yeah, no, add background sends me here. Because it's just sends me to the thing. Okay, so is this actually an in class? Is an in background? That's actually really funny. Do we go with Sage then? Because it's actively probably not a wise idea. What else is there? Go quickly look. Go quickly look. What's noble? Because we kind of want charisma and what's it call it? Thing. You can write it down if you want. Okay, I'll have a look. I'll just see. Okay. Outlander. I'm just now curious. You've made me more curious about some of these as well. I blame y'all for this. Oh yeah, fuck no. Nah, definitely not. Noble's actually sounding really good right now, I'm not gonna lie. It's funny that Sage is the best fit. It's either Noble or Sage because of the whatchamacallit? Like Noble Obligation. Right? But it's like the rest of that I'm not so sure about. Oh yeah, here we go. Noble Obligation with that one. And then like... I mean, sure, technically. Sage is still fitting pretty well, though. If it wasn't for the Arcana, I think, the skill proficiency in Arcana, I'd be more willing to go with it. Because, like, Soldier, I think, is just a little too off. It also fits the airheadedness, technically, right? The trade is just guidelines. Yeah, no, I do know. I do know. It does give me an idea for it, though. We can have the Sage's personality trait with the noble skill. That might actually work better then, right? Just run it as a noble, but personality-wise have the stuff from that we saw from Sage. Self-improvement, and like, just, I don't want to take damage, but I'm not also gonna not run into battle and protect other people. Yeah, okay, noble it is then, I think. So, where is it? Close that one. I should just be able to copy that, right? So I get, is it history and persuasion? Tool proficiencies, one of any type of gaming set. What? Okay. Dice, cards, or chess? Ooh. And then, what is the other stuff I get? Languages, I get one of my choice. Where do I click that in? Any one. Equipment, a fine set of clothes, a signet ring. Let's see. Oh god. A signet ring, I saw that. Fine clothes. Well, that's fine. A scroll of pedigree. You can say Magic the Gathering. Oh my god, yes. I don't know where the pedigree thing is in here, if it is. But we also have to get, what was it? A purse? And 25 gold. They tried to swindle a merchant? Hell yeah. Dude, I'll just play Commander with people at the cavern. It'll be great. Bring out my Slivers deck and give them another deck to play. Actually cruel. So yeah, I don't think there's, the thing here. The scroll. I don't see it in this list of equipment here. Am I stupid? Give them another sliver deck, except their deck is the one that gives all slivers and mine's the one that only gives my sliver stuff. Hell yeah. I like that idea. It's like, I've just got 5 sliver decks. That's all I've got. Just in the middle of playing D&D, I pull out, like, actual decks to play against people. My fucking god, how funny that would be. There's a parchment here. Is that it? Because it's supposed to be a scroll of pedigree. That's why I'm trying to see if I'm stuck on phrasing. Yeah. Okay, and then go back to the character builder. And we have noble. There we go. Oh, I still gotta get the feats done. What feats are we getting? Again? I already have the persuasion skill there. Noble. Huh. Yes, performance. Fuck it. Shieldmaster is good. I have 2 languages I can choose from? Oh god. It's playing card set, of course. Oh, because I have custom shit, it gives me, like, the list of everything ever. Okay, what am I missing? So it's the 2 languages. What languages do we want? Because I have no fucking idea. I mean, isn't it dependent on the campaign, in a sense, right? Because when, like, based on where you're going, what campaign? Yeah, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm just doing this, throwing it around. Talk to the short ones, you know what? You've got me. You sold me just on that joke. Okay, so... Shieldmaster or Tough, Sentinel, Tough, or Shieldmaster. So that's the suggestions we've gotten. So let's look at them. I'm assuming I can probably find them pretty easily. Yeah. So we're looking for, let's see, Sentinel, Tough, and Shieldmaster. Sentinel. When you hit a creature with an opportunity attack, the creature's speed comes 0 for the rest of the turn. That's fucking Creatures provoke opportunity attacks from you even if they take the disengage action. That's really good. It's basically, you can't get the fuck away from me. When a creature makes an attack against a target other than you, and that target doesn't have this feat, you can use your reaction to make a melee weapon attack against them. Ooh, that's pretty nice. That is pretty nice. Okay, shield mask. Sentinel's looking really good right now, I'm not gonna lie. But that's also the first one we've looked at, so I'm not sure if that's gonna be the best one. We'll see. You use shields not just for protection, but for also offense. You gain the following benefits when you wield a shield. If you take the attack action on your turn, you can use a bonus action to try and shove a creature. If you aren't incapacitated, you can add your shield's AC bonus to any dex saving throw you might make against a spell or other harmful effect. If you are subject to an effect that allows you to make a dex saving throw to take only half damage, you can use your reaction to take no damage if you succeed in the thing. That's not as good as Sentinel, but that's still really good. And then tough. Let's see. Your hit points increase by the amount equal to twice your level when you gain this feat. When you gain a level thereafter, you... Oh, okay, so you just get a shitload more health. Having trouble sleeping, so here for now. What sort of game dev is this? We got sidetracked and we're making a D&D character. Are you surprised that we're getting sidetracked? Sentinel is good, protect, yeah, like, I think Sentinel is basically like, hey, I want to be in the front line, and I'm going to ensure that shit stays with me, which is really good. Whereas, like, Shieldmaster is, I don't want to fucking die easily. Sidetrack, that's new, yeah. But tough is, like, objectively, we gotta get tough at some point, right? So, I'm gonna say clearly, all three of these are really good. What do I want straight away is the question. I think Shieldmaster's also... Oh, hey, yo, Yuki, how's it going? Hey, Fluffy Raid. How'd you enjoy your time? Pardon, what's in your duty? Sir. I'm not gonna make any of the jokes that came to mind. It's a lot. But yeah, how was your relaxing tea time? I looked at it quickly before stream started. Just had tea time today, yeah. That sounds nice. I mean, that's kind of, be honest, that's kind of what my game dev days have been most of the time. Just vibing out. We'll get Shieldmaster, alright. We'll get Shieldmaster then. I'm gonna have to copy stuff again, aren't I? Because I'm gonna have to edit. This is... There we go. We're totally not sidetracked playing around with the idea of making a D&D character, I swear. In case this wasn't clear what we're doing right now. We are doing things that are very silly. Okay. Oh. How are we gonna... I'm just gonna copy this. it's gonna be I'm definitely not making maple. Yeah, we're definitely not making maple from Bafuri. We're not using the 2024 rule set. I'm using whatever we have in front of us. I think it's 5E. That's all I know. Is there any of the things there to be selected? Or am I just gonna have to have it written down? I'm gonna have to have it all written down. Right? Yeah. Because I think it's all just a bit additional effects. Did I hear maple from Bafuri? Yes, you did. We are 100% making maple from Bafuri, but not quite as that dumb. Just the philosophy of, I am here to be an airheaded individual that don't take damage. I'm the problem in the center of the room. Yeah, okay. So, save... Yeah, whatever. This shockingly garbage-haired game design. I mean, there's nothing really wrong with it. I love it purely as, like, a game developer myself looking at it, and I'm like, yeah, I would probably make something like that mistake myself. Okay. Oh, now I have to choose these things, right? So it's definitely martial weapon and a sword. What sword? They have an insurmountable advantage to clear more such dungeons. The thing is, right, I will say this now. I will give the game designers in that universe, theoretically, obviously, a little bit of, like, leeway. They did design the game with the fact that it's like, dungeons aren't per se a fight to clear all the time. I will not deny there's that aspect, but you also have to keep in mind, like, the game's super wide. So, like, she's not the only one that's super OP. Like, we've seen very clearly, outside of a handful of things, and they're all restricted time-wise, there are other characters that are just really insanely strong as well. That human paladin dude, the basic human dude from the, like, first season. He was the closest to beating Maple, and it's only because she used a, atrocity to beat him. Which is a 24-hour cooldown. But there's also, like, unique things she's never gonna get access to, right? It's kind of insulting to think no players ever thought to grind their defense like Maple. Kinda, yeah, I'll agree with that. So, alright, where were we? Anyway, need to get the work. Yeah, all good, Matthew. Catch you later. Okay. So we need his longsword was what I was getting said earlier, I guess. What's the difference between these two packs? Even a player accidentally lagging out in the field would accomplish the same thing, pretty much. Dude, yeah, I do think it's like, wow, really? You're not gonna, like, think that someone wouldn't just, like, try and glitch out the map? Seriously? That shit's gonna be the first thing that's done day one. Amulet, sure. explorer's pack, because I don't know what's in there. There's something else I still need to select. Oh, here. Starting equipment, melee weapon. Do I want a simple melee weapon or 5 javelins? But don't I already have a weapon? I'm now confused more. Game? Game what? If I click this, what do I get? Oh, I get more fucking choices. This is an extra side weapon? Well, I mean, then it's gotta be a dagger, right? If it's gonna be those 5 javelins, yeah, I'm thinking, like, just these fucking... Sure. So is this... This is our shit, then. Ah, this is pretty solid. I've got our playing card set so we can play Magic the Gathering. We have already 18. Or 18 AC, yeah. We are thick. That is what we've got here. Yeah, 18 AC, yeah. We're thick, we're heavy, we're solid, we're not absolutely garbage. We know a little bit about history, we know a little bit about medicine. We can fucking performance, man. I'm so happy that I'm just like, you know what, I'm gonna toss in performance. Why the fuck not? What are we using for building? How high a level? I mean, I'm just tossing a thing together. Because I don't know who... We're just tossing together an idea of if I do make this character, this would probably be what I first want to play in D&D, which is just straight up a character that just can't fucking die. This is literally designed under the philosophy of what Maple from Buffury does. That idea. As I'm here to be a Giga Tank that doesn't take damage. You're either gonna miss or you're gonna bounce. And I'm gonna just be a problem in the middle of the room. Because that's just funny, right? It's just funny. Hang on a minute, what did I just see? I saw a notification. God damn it, Muffin! Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. Higher strength would give better chance to hit enemies. Oh my god, wait, don't make me make darkness at the same time. Don't make me make darkness. We all know how that's gonna go. That would be fucking amazing. But yes, thank you, Muffin. That reminds me, I still need to get that thing made for you. Make a darkness build in D&D, that's amazing. Every first player's wizard is Mechaman. I'm gonna be real with you, Chief, that's about right. Making all the Konosuba characters, that sounds so much fun though, right? Like, I'll stand by this, that's the reason why you're seeing here. I'm not trying to make Maple from Bafuri, I'm trying to make that philosophy, because I want to try and do my own. I'll just save this, right? I have to save, I have to log in to save? Nah, fuck that shit, alright. We've got the data about what I did. We know what we've done. I ain't gonna log in to some new fucking fangled site. I mean, like, I do know there's a guy that does a bunch of homebrew stuff, which looked kind of cool. That, like, he's like, hey, I made, the slime sort of style from, Tensura. I've done, like, that sort of stuff. What even makes the Maple from Bafuri different from a tank? Because she's got, like, a bunch of poison and other dumb shit mechanics. This character sheet editor is Google Sheet. Oh, 100% probably. This is me, like, mucking around for a bit. Yeah, she was, Toxic Stall. Yeah, think of her as, like, Toxic Stall, but with some, like, ultimate abilities. That just nuke the shit out of stuff. It's the thing as well, is, like, if you just say, like, the tank for her, you'd start going, like, getting into Eldritch stuff, so you have to get Warlock going. Like, 100%. You're definitely doing Warlock stuff with her. I'm probably not. It was weird in BS. Yeah, she ate a fucking Hydra. She just ate a dude. She just eats everything. That's the best part of her. Dude, it's spicy. It's the best way to do it. But yeah. There we go. We sidetracked enough to make fucking Maple from Bafuri, but like, well, the philosophy of just don't take damage. If I do go to make this properly, we're gonna talk about this on Discord at some point. I'm gonna drag everyone together on Discord, and we're gonna have to, like, hash out a stupid idea. Do you remember how this was a game dev stream at one point? I remember. Pepperidge Farm remembers. I love that, though. So, but again, before Bofuri came out, Maple was basically how I played tanks. Was it's just, I'm here to be this cute, tiny thing that looks adorable and amazing, and it's just, I love that shit, and she just doesn't die. That was always my favorite thing with that stuff. Is, to describe it best, using now examples, there is two main ways I like to play games. There is, kind of the just in the middle of the fight, swinging and just fucking shit up and not dying. Now often that tends to be like a lifesteal build, but we'll use Bofuri Maple as an example of just, whoops. Right? Send the link on it if anyone's interested. We might have a look at it in a sec. So this is one way I like to play. Is just keep swinging and nobody explodes. I'm here to just be a problem in the middle of the room. That's one of my favorite ways to play. The other way Invoker from Dota 2. If you know anything about him, here's how I like to play mages and how I play card games. It's, I have these random bullshit go, but the thing is, you're gonna see it as random bullshit go. I'm gonna see it as, okay, I do this in this order, and this in this order, and this in this order, and do all of these millions of things. I like the meta characters that don't make sense mechanically. Same. Isn't it the guy with a different skill? Yes. So, Invoker has a mechanic in Dota 2 where basically you will press Q, W, E, and based on what you've got in combination actively on you, which is the last 3 of those you've pressed, you press your ultimate and you will get a spell. Each of these spells has its own internal cooldown. So it is not tight. So if you cast it, it's got a 60-second cooldown, and you get rid of it and you can't get it again back in your list, it will have the cooldown based on where it should be at from when it was cast. So what you can do is Cold Snap into Ice Wall, into Summon Golems, into give the Golems the buff that you have that gives attack speed and on-hit damage bonus. Then you can Ghost Walk in front of them, Tornado them, put an EMP down and start casting your fucking Meteor, and you can do all of this shit. And this is a combo you can do. And then you could probably Deafening Blast as well, arguably, if you think they're going to survive after the Meteor. Or you could also Cold Snap while they're also getting hit by the Meteor, just if you really want to do quite a lot of damage. Optimized fight characters are cringe. It's 90% of the time bundled with toxic players. Oh yeah, no. So this is what we were talking about earlier. We're not trying to make... We can make a character that never takes damage. That's not impossible. That's very easy to do. We're making a character that's like, honestly, I'm just here to fuck shit up in the middle and do that. Like, have a fun time with that. Making optimal builds and all that just makes you a CDH player, and I don't really enjoy that sort of playstyle. Of just like, I'm here to play a game for like a quarter of the time that you're supposed to, because I do everything so perfectly that you can't play the game anymore. Like, a character we talked about it as well, it's, was it Coffee Lock or whatever the fuck it's called again? Where it's like, it's a build that if you hit turn 4, you have infinite magic. This is legitimately how that works. Yeah. Needless to say, that's an example of, no, we're never doing that, because that's just boring. That's not what we want to do. We want to have fun doing our characters. I would only do that if I would play it like Invoker, and I can only play one spell after another, and I have to, like, wait. Right? Like, that's the only way I would allow myself to play something like that, is make additional restrictions that make it super impossible to play. When I'm playing Baldur's Gate, I was too lazy to play proper party, so I just used Warding Bond, Gale to run the game with a single character. Fair. But, like, that's the thing. I'm not gonna say what I play and what another person plays is correct or anything like that. That's the other thing I want to stress. I'll never say I'm right, you're wrong with this. It's up to the players. It's up to the people at the table as well, if you're playing D&D. All that stuff. These are the two ways I like to play the game. I like these things. You could also argue that the Maple Tank not die, you could technically add into this list. What's her name? Is it, Tia? I think it was it. Is that her name? Sheltia from, Overlord. Had a horrible action economy. Yeah, exactly. It's do whatever you find fun. If you want challenge, do challenge. If you don't want challenge, don't do challenge. Otherwise, I'll respond, have you beaten all the Dark Souls games in quick succession without taking any damage on any single one of them? Otherwise, he'll fall restarting. You've completed all of those games with the most basic, with unarmed, no armor, no level ups, and with a Guitar Hero controller using your feet. No, you haven't? Okay, you're useless then. Lolly Vampire? I mean, okay, it's more her build, but also that style of playing where it's like, tiny little cute thing. Oh, this is really adorable. Why are you, demon incarnate, can't die, motherfucker? Shaltier from Overlord was an in-universe heavy optimized. Oh yeah, no, I know about Overlord and how it's based on a very specific rule set as well, and every single character technically could actually be built in that version of the tabletop that it's from. You can't build them in 5e, admittedly, but you can. Gave her a self-res item. Yeah, I know. But like, Shaltier is an example, that concept of like, I would only play a character optimized if I give them another floor. Right? That's why I say with the Invoker thing. Would I make an Invoker character that is basically a coffee log? Yes. But I would have to make it that I cannot use the same spell twice in a fight. I would have to constantly be changing the spells that I'm using. That is the only way I would ever play that. And that sounds fucking horrendous. Because it's just like, shit. Gotta use the bad spell. No, I gotta use this spell. No, I gotta use, fuck, I used that one. Shit. And it's just constantly doing that stuff. If I made a heavy optimized, like, lifesteal tank, PvPer, like, Shaltier, it's gonna be like she's a fucking dumbass. There's a reason why the maple tank idea that we were tossing together, it's gonna be an airhead, because it's really funny if she's, like, the goodest, nicest person that thinks in the best way about people, right? Character is invincible but dies instantly if he eats a peanut. I mean, yes, then just make it that he really wants to eat a peanut. He knows he'll die, but he really wants to know what the taste is. Casting the same spell but different damage type count? That would be dependent on how many spells I have available to me. Because there is like a couple of ones that I know you can just change the damage type to cast it. I don't know if I'd want to do that, right? Final boss is Mr. Peanut. Oh my god, yes. It's literally the whole party has to keep fighting him to say, it's like, no, don't eat the fucking peanut, you asshole. We don't want you to die. It's like, I try and sneak out during the night to eat a peanut, and so like, one of my teammates, like, I wake up, hear him, and beat the shit out of him, and send him back to bed. It's like, okay. It's like, I will do silly, dumb shit. I love that stuff. That's why I say, like, if the better my build is, the dumber I want to be with it. I mean, that's why I say, like, look at how I played Fable recently, right? We got a build that was pretty damn good. I still didn't play that anywhere near optimally. I just kind of didn't dodge or block. I just swung. I would stop time, I would lifesteal off them, and I would just kind of swing and hit. And I would run around like a dumbass. Was that the optimal way to play? Fuck no, but it was fun for me. That's why I say, like, I either like being in the front line and just being a problem, or I like being in the back line having a fucking aneurysm. And anyone that tries to follow what I'm doing also probably would struggle. It's like, so I'm gonna do this, and then this, and this, sort of thing. I love that. Those are my two favorite ways of playing games. In fact, ironically enough, with this game, with VTube Unite, my basic character that I made initially, being Iron Mouse, is probably a perfect example of how I would play tanks, if that tank option was available. Can I take damage? Sure. Can I heal it probably faster than you deal it? Sure. Do I actually do damage? Only based on one of my other stats. I do it based on healing. I am here to be a problem. It's I reward you for doing something that may not seem the most standard play pattern. I like that. That's the way I enjoy stuff. Rewarding for not doing the norm. Farming aura like that one SAOC, yeah. Just sitting there, it's like, I'm just taking damage, but I'm healing faster. Good times. Good times. My numbers are bigger than yours. We already made this joke earlier, god damn it. But yeah, no, I absolutely love that style of play. I will not deny I do have a soft spot for summoning build though. Like, but the thing is, I don't like, I summon one big thing. No, I want to summon swarms of shit. If I'm gonna summon stuff, you don't give me like the big golem. You give me 50 fucking shit dudes that I can just send to die. I love that. Never give me the big thing. Just give me the dumb stuff. That's why, if anyone's played, this is a fairly old game now called Overlord. I absolutely loved that one because you actually just summon armies of little goblins. That's a nightmare in a tabletop format? Yes. I was like, this is my game? Yeah. I remember trying to do a summoner build in that one, and it's just like all auras and just summons. Or is homebrew a swarm mechanic? Honestly, I think that's a wise shout when it gets to us, because we were talking about this earlier, so this is where we get to talking about optimal builds again. I watched someone make a build that was kind of based around like Einzelgong from Overlord, and he managed to make it so you could summon like actual like 5 digits easily worth of undead. Like we're talking thousands, like genuine thousands of undead potentially, if you optimize your game pattern. I'm like, at that point in time, there's no DM in the world that will let you do that and not just go, cool, a dragon turns up and just breathes fire across your army and vaporizes it instantly. Fuck your shit. Your turns would take 5 years, pretty much. Because it's like, okay, so we're at zombie number 400. It's like, just swarm mechanic that shit. It's like, these are gonna go here, these are gonna go here, and these are gonna cause problems over there. It would only be good in a, like, campaign where big, large-scale, skirmishes can occur, and you can be your own army, and it's about, like, defending you and, like, organizing attacks. That I would love to do. That would be fun as hell. Right? I would enjoy that. It's like, I'm gonna be a strategist. I've got an army at my disposal. I've still got, like, some combat shit going on. We all do our own shit while I do, like, a little bit of strategy minigame. I'm gonna play Civ in the fucking side here. Let's go. You know, you can make a Google sheet with mathematically calculate the percentage of connecting attacks. Oh yeah. No, I bet you could. it's not hard to set up a lot of that sort of stuff, and especially in automated fashions, and including the modern day where there are really good systems for that involved, but moving 20 pieces per turn is an actual pain, yes. Just bring out, like, Warhammer fucking miniatures and go, this is my army here. Oh. Mainly shadows. There we go. To be fair, like, again, I love strategy games. I really love strategy games. It would not be hard to sell me on a strategy game like that. Commanding armies. Just clear your recycling bin, gain 6 gigabytes of storage space. I wonder how much is in mine. I should actually probably not open that visually for you guys. Let's see, what is in my recycling bin at the moment? No, that's not what it is. Oh, there is like 50, 60 gigabytes in there at least. Speaking of Storm stuff, I'll send you a clip of some new weapons. Ooh. Let's have a look-see. I need to clear my recycling bin though.